Hi there, how you doing? Happy Sunday afternoon, evening / morning, depending on where you are in the world. So yesterday was my 1 year anniversary of being completely grey. So my hair has completely grown out the colour. I have a little bit of brown still underneath, very little though, and the rest, this is now my natural hair colour. It's been 3 years since I started to grow out my grey hair, and it's been a bit of a journey, and I think it's not just the physical journey that you go through. You are learning to adapt your ideas of what having grey hair means. It's about entering a different stage in your life. It's about learning to embrace something that you perhaps thought of slightly negatively before. And it made me think, throughout the last few years, while I've been on this journey myself, I've obviously spoken to quite a few other ladies, and the amount of people that admire me for doing this, the amount of people that wish they could do it themselves, they don't feel like they have the courage to do it themselves. It did make me realise that there's quite a lot of pressure that society places on us. There's quite a lot of misconceptions, if you like. I wanted to come on here and speak openly about those, try and answer some of the common ones that I hear. Not because I'm an expert or anything on having grey hair, I just have it. I can at least try to answer some of the questions in my own way and my opinion, and hope that that will be helpful to you. With that in mind, I have come up with 5 common misconceptions about having grey hair that I'd like to talk about in this. So let's jump on to number 1. Number 1 is grey hair makes you look older. This is something that I really fought with in the beginning, and it's only really once I'd made my mind up what I was doing, I figured there has to be some information out there somewhere. And I discovered the network of the Silver Sisters, as they're most commonly known. And these are other ladies of all different ages. Some of these people are in their teens. Going grey has no bounds. It's something that happens to the majority of us, and you don't know when that's going to start happening for you. For me, I was about 14, 15. What I did find when I discovered those Silver Sisters is that, there are so many people out there that are doing this too. It really shouldn't be as big a deal as it seems to be for so many people. And I think a lot of that is the thought that people are going to think that they are older than they are. And I just want to knock that one straight on the head, because I don't think that's the case at all. People say to me that grey hair, it suits me more than the colours did. I'm naturally very pale, as you can see. People say that it brings more colour to my face, which I totally didn't expect. I thought I was going to look washed out. I think it's in our biology that the grey hair that we have is our own unique shade, and it is made to work with the colourings that we have, to draw attention to your best features, to make you stand out in some way. And I don't think that's something that we should be afraid of. I don't think it's something that's necessarily attached to age anymore. And if that was the case, why have there been recent trends for grey hair, silver hair? Why is that a thing? It's a pressure that we put on ourselves, and I just think we need to try and squash that. It's not about what we look like, it's about who we are. Misconception number 2. Grey hair won't suit me. There are many shades of grey. 50 shades of grey? There aren't 50. There are so many more. Your hair won't be just one flat colour. I kind of thought my hair was going to be like that, because the only images I had seen when I started out were of people following the hair trend of silver hair, and so their hair's dyed and it looks one matte colour. Your hair will not do that if you do it naturally. You can see it here. Look, around my ear there, darker. There's a dark bit. And then you've got light bits. Nature works with us to create our own special shade of grey, if you like. You are going to have to think differently about it, and you do have to recognise that it is a different colour. That is something to get used to. I still walk past a mirror sometimes, or a window, and I think, who's that? Because I'm still picturing myself with my natural dark brown hair. It is a work in progress, and it's not a quick change as such, because you're reprogramming yourself. But at the same time, it shouldn't be such a huge change for you. I found it so freeing. There's a lot to be said for embracing having grey hair rather than fighting against it. Common misconception number 3. Grey hair is difficult to style. Now, it is true to say that the texture of your hair will become different. I'm not sure why it is, but my hair definitely, it feels stronger, but it feels like it's bare strength rather than colour on there, anything else that we put on. I use very little product on my hair now, and that's one of the things I love the most, is that I don't have to worry about doing stuff to my hair anymore. I don't have to worry about dyeing it. I don't have to worry about treating it so much, because it's in its natural state and it's become so healthy. You do have to switch your ideas of the kind of shampoos and conditioners that you use. You can either use a normal everyday shampoo and conditioner, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that at all, but I definitely find for me that purple shampoo and conditioner that are specifically for very light blonde or grey hair, those work really well for me because they take out the yellow tones. I did have a little bit of blonde in my hair before it went grey. It seems to have left a lasting impression. To get rid of that, I used the purple shampoo, and it just neutralises those shades so that you get the nice, clean, grey colours coming through without any brassiness in there. That doesn't mean your hair's any different to style. Personally, I don't think there is any reason whatsoever that you can't style your hair in exactly the same way that you used to before. Buns, ponytails, twists, what's the difference? Anyway, a lot of ladies like to have the shorter grey hair, and an example of someone who I have seen looks amazing with her shorter grey hair is Dawn French. I don't know if you've seen pictures of her recently, but if not, go and look them up because she looks awesome. She is really rocking that new hairdo, and I love it. That is the personal thing. You need to think about what this change means for you and how you're going to embrace that. If that means you go out and get a new style and you're like, hey, this is the new me, then do that. That's fine. If it's just, okay, I'm just going to accept that this is the natural transition that I'm going through and blah, 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 that is also fine. It is your path to walk on. Common misconception number 4. Long grey hair looks bad. We've all seen the kind of grey hair that I think people think of when they think about women with long grey hair, or even men with old grey hair. And that is your more senior people who wear it really long, unstyled, natural curls. Some cases it does look a bit like rat's tails, but I feel like that shouldn't sully having long grey hair for anyone else. Why do you need to completely change yourself? If you've always had long hair and you like having long hair, it doesn't matter if your long hair is brown or grey. There are so many people out there that have long hair that is grey and it looks amazing. And they are all different ages, all different colour, grey hair, all different style of hair. You know, there really is no limit to what you can do with it now, and I think that's one of the nice things that has come out of the trends and the kind of realization over time that actually, as we get older, we do need to embrace each stage of our life. That for me is quite comforting to know that we're doing that. Screw what anyone else thinks. There is going to come a time in most people's life where they will also go through that transition, that change. I can enjoy it as a part of my life, or I can fight against it. Lastly, common misconception number 5. Woo! You can't wear grey with grey hair. No, it is just not true. This is actually one of my pet hates, is people saying, oh, you can't wear grey with grey hair. I don't think it's true at all. I do think you need to be careful about the tone of grey that you have, or the tone of white that you have, because you've got your ivories, you've got your creams, those kind of very light, near white colours. Yeah, sure, be careful of those, because some of those will have yellow in them. I find anything that has a yellow tone, an orange tone, kind of like these, These are probably the colours that I wouldn't actually wear. Okay, so I have brought you up to my bedroom and we're going to look in one of my wardrobes. I have two. Very lucky, I know. My work wardrobe is in a better state, so I've just kind of brought you to show you the type of colours that I generally go for. I really love navy and black. I think it goes amazing with your grey hair because it means that you're making a feature out of it, particularly with the red makeup. It's cooler tones and dual colours that suit me. So I go for kind of reds, bright red, dark red, green, and then you've got your dark blues there as well. Electric blues, I love that kind of colour. We also have greys like this. So you've got a grey in there with a little blobs of colour, and that will just give you a lift. Here is another example. This is one of my favourite hats. Yeah, it's a little bit clashy, but then if I wear a dark coat and I've got my bright lipstick on, it just works. It really does. So you can see it's not about the colours necessarily that you put with grey hair as so much as how you wear them too. Use your hair as kind of a base colour in your wardrobe. Try and find colours that work with it, colours that you like. So important, colours that you like. I love yellow. Unfortunately, I just don't feel like it works for me. If you think it works for you, no worries at all. No worries at all. Again, we all have different shades of grey, so the colours are going to be different that you go for. What I would recommend doing is finding yourself an accent colour. I wear an awful lot of neutrals. Black, white, navy, taupe. I found myself wearing a lot of taupe lately. That works too. So what I do is I kind of try to blend two of the neutrals, a light and a dark one, and then I choose a colour to go with that as my accent colour. So in this case, with this outfit, the lipstick is the accent colour. And if I was going out, I would probably try and find a red bag to wear. But it kind of pulls that together and you're just adding little hints of colour, something to just bring you to life. And I think that goes no matter what colour hair you have, but when you have grey particularly, you want to pick out a feature somehow. Your grey hair can be a feature, or it can be your lips, it could be your eyes, you could wear some earrings that are bright, you could wear a top that's bright, match it with some bright shoes. There's so many options. I am by no means a stylist, so I can't talk about those professionally, but that is what I have found works for me. That brings us to the end of this little gem. I hope you have found it useful. If you would like to see more videos like this, please do let me know. At the end of the day, I do think that, you know, if you're thinking about going on this journey, look up some other people for inspiration and just go for it. There is nothing to lose here. Just go for it and see what happens. But if you decide you really don't like it, you can always dye your hair again. No biggie. Thanks so much for watching. I have a couple of unboxings coming on a bit later in the week. I will see you then. Take care. Bye.